like the diversity of what something that's non-existent in Germany, and then like Dominic comes with their American pizza, and hey, this is something different. No. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Refresh Step, where we recover yourself for the main step. I'm your host for today, tomorrow, and the foreseeable future, Theodore Lu. And I'm with the hottest. Alright, Ayumu has left me. Nah, I'm just messing with you. So yeah, unfortunately Ayumu is visiting someone, a friend, but he's in a place where the internet is way less than stellar. So unfortunately he cannot join us this week. So today I thought why not try something a little bit different. So I might do something like this in the future as well, just to make sure that when it is, like with how our schedule will go in the future, it might be possible that we might not be able to record every single week. So in that case, when we really cannot get an episode out, we'll get this kind of episode that is hopefully not that topical, so that whatever happens, we can kind of like just bring this out, and it will hopefully still be something that you can listen to. But anyway, today has been a pretty hectic week for me, so I actually recorded this really late in the week, but thanks to that, we actually got to see some Grand Walkers that is going to be revealed in the next set. But then, as I said this, although I plan to bring them all, might also be interesting to kind of like give it just a first look, and then next week when we have Ayumu on board, we'll talk a little bit more about that. And I guess like by next week we should see more cards from BS70 as well, so that, well, not 70. 70. Yeah. I was blinded by BS69 being such a nice number that I forget that the next number after 69 is just 70. Feels a little bit boring, isn't it? But yeah, it is what it is. 72 will be another interesting one, just because it's in the multiplication table. I don't know why it feels 72 feels a little bit special to me, but yeah, anyway. Wait. Okay. That was old news. I was not supposed to open that, but yeah, anyway. First of all, we finally have, as per usual, since we are going to have a new Kamen Rider collaboration booster and a new Kamen Rider series is starting, Kamen Rider Gov will have like their initial version. So the Kamen Rider Gabu Hopping Gumi form, which I just realized, since Gabu has like his transformation is really related to snacks, everything that he has is related to snacks. I forgot that Yellow has a family for snacks, and of course it's Yellow. Although, as with all, it kind of breaks the tradition, because usually to kind of like mask like what this Mask Riders will be in the future, they will give them like a 6-color version that kind of like works with all Kamen Rider. So they still kind of kept that theme of like, yeah, this will work with any Kamen Rider here, but they kind of like straight up, yep, it's going to be Yellow, don't worry. If Gabu ended up not being Yellow, then yeah, I guess we get bamboozled by Bandai this time. Well, and then as usual, when the new set is released, they will release a playmat design, so you still have to print this yourself, but you are free to use this design to play Battle Spirits with. I really like the Lina one. This one, I think, especially since the Age of Avengers was first announced with Kukulkan in the center, and also visually Kukulkan's press art is like the one that is like the widest. I felt like I would like this design better if Kukulkan is actually on the top, where they can show like the angle is wider. But yeah, I think like also the one that is not helping is the fact that every single Grand Walker in this image, except for Ares, are facing left, while Ares himself is facing right. Yeah, if Tezcatlipoca is facing right, then it will I think it will be slightly more coherent. But yeah, as with the poster, it really looks like they are like just a bunch of good friends that are going to fight evil together. That is given that now they have to kind of like weekly work together to fight the primals. I guess that kind of works. And of course, speaking of the Grand Walkers, should be so we have the the contract X01. So the curse contractor Hera. Yeah, of course, Hera is associated with the Ogre Wizard. So even if you play Saga, you should have seen some of her the spirits under her. And they took a pretty interesting route this time, since like we all know that the contract skills have all been a contract skill 2. You use the skill and then you gain 2 counters as usual. And they just took a different direction with Hera, and then they just make her contract skill. Yep, well, just pay 4, you'll gain 4 counters at once. So you can just jump into your first counter in the first turn if you're lucky. So you open your 3 top decks, and then you have something that you can. Yeah, I think like if you have her and then another copy of either her or Hera, then you will have 2 cores left, and you have 2 reduction on the field. Oh wait, no, I meant thing. Yeah, I think like first turn it's a little bit harder, but like on the second turn you can definitely do it. So you just deploy Hera, and then you summon the cost 3 spirits, and then you have 4 cores on her. If you get 3 on your core charge, of course. But yeah, given it's purple, you don't really need that much card outside of what is available to you, except for probably just some ice shield or ice shield or like end defensive of your choice. So yeah, should be possible. But anyway, you pay 4 and then you banish 1 Ogre Wizard from your trash, and then you can force activate the when summon effect as if it's a colorless contract skill of this card. So yeah, that matters quite a lot, because at the very least, if you are like not really lucky with your core charge, at the very least you have lots of Ogre Wizard that gives you like 1 draw when summon. There are some that can give you 2 draws, and with the current trend, you are definitely going to get one that is like a 3 draw on summon. And we have Jealousy Doll that is like really good removal as well, although I don't know if you wanted to banish her that way. And now, given that the whole thing about Jealousy Doll is about recovering cards from the trash, I hope that they did not go with the Distal being able to touch your banish soon now. That would make this game Yu-Gi-Oh! You have like at this point, since the open zone was originally called the remove from game zone, and that it doesn't work that way anymore. That's why I don't really like to call it the remove from game zone. It's a open. I rather call it the open zone, because it's basically your hand, but it's open. And then you have the trash, of course, which you can now manipulate really freely, which is why the trash lock is really feels really versatile right now. And then you have you have the Banish Zone. That is, for now, it is totally untouchable. If any card goes there, it's gone forever. Which which gives the some decks really unique flavor. Like Poseidon can banish some things forever. And then it cannot be guarded by mill decks. And then we have Cross the Evil that can banish cards for good, which kind of like matches the lore of the card as well. But yeah, the sad part here is that and then with it activated as a colorless, it also bypasses armor, and then because it's activated as a contract skill of this Grandwalker Nexus, it is there is like some niche stuff, like there's an old card from BSC 45, called Magic. So Magic, when it has basically like all purple families up to that point, and Magic, when it is summoned, you can draw one, and you can choose an opposing Grandwalker Nexus that has multiple copies of itself, and then basically they can only keep one copy of that Grandwalker Nexus. In which, now that some decks like Hades will probably want multiple copies of Hades on the field, we'll probably see some more use. Probably Magic is going to be revived and made a little bit harsher. Who knows? And the only sad part is we have this card called Desire, which has a really special one summon effect that can remove three opposing cores to the reserve or the trash, somewhere along that line. I've read it earlier, but now I already forgot, and I should have prepared my own notes. But yeah, the point is, if you activated Desire specifically with Hera's Grand Skill, because it needs to be activated with the Grand Skill, and we only have Hera that can do that. Yeah, so basically if you activate it with Hera's Grand Skill, so the original Hera, by the way, it will have to be activated as a Grand Skill, so you can instead send the course to the Void. But since this Hera activates that effect as a contract skill, yeah, they might overrule that, and yeah, I probably need to check again but I don't think at this point contract skill is not treated as a grand skill, so that means Desire cannot make a comeback. But then again, that will also be kind of like terrifying, that if you have a Desire in hand and you have both Hera and Contractor Hera on the field, and you just use Hera to discard the Desire, remove 3 cores thrown to the Void, and then you activate the Contractor Hera to remove that Desire to banish 3 more cores. Yeah, I think like previously it's not a problem because you kind of have to do through all the hoops to get the Desire back to your hand, and then Desire itself is a cost 9. So it's if push come to shove and you have to summon it, and it kind of costs a lot. It is not weak, but it is cost 9, and then you are playing purple, so your cores are going to be very limited. Oh yeah. And then the contract skill at level 2, it needs to be, you need to have like 6 counters or more. So if you all of the devotee and the concluser, so yeah, let's use the wiki term for once, that also has Ogre Wizard in your trash, cannot be affected by opposing effects, and this cannot be guarded, cannot be prevented. So we'll see. Last time they give purple cannot be prevented, they have to errata everything, but at least this time they are being hopefully quite specific with it. So it's basically if your opponent has cards that says cards in your opposing trash cannot be affected and cannot activate their effects, then this basically bypass that. So if I guess Hera will continue with the team that when they are discarded, they're going to activate something. So we'll see. And yeah, I think like Uh, so yeah, there's a screenshot that I should probably have prepared in advance. Basically, I really wish like Bridget from uh how she looks, and also I mean like the overall feeling of the background in her art, and also Ariane Hort being a giant golem that looks like they are part of the royalty. Kind of wish that Bridget would support Ice Princess, since that is and ironically probably, well, I will say I'm not machine is still on the top, but like yeah, I mean like I enjoyed playing the Ice Princess during the origin era, but I guess that would also brings the question of yeah, that origin Ice Princess that is still quite busted. So like, should we really be supporting that like directly? Although arguably we might need to. Yeah. But yeah, and then since she is like related to wheels means machinery, so we kind of like yep, White like has like at least four families that is like 4 to 5 families that are related to machines. One being android, which was already represented by Athena. Since they are from different camps, Richard will most likely support another family. Arnold Machine, on hindsight, thought already handles that, so maybe no. Although Kukulkan has Dark Snake, which is also handled by Osiris. So there should have been a possibility for Bridget to be a Arnold Machine Grand Walker Nexus. And I made a poll on our community post, so sometimes I do post stuff to there, so yeah, please do check them out. So yeah, basically we have like over 56 votes on whether Bridget's army will be like either armed machine, armed machine, or with armed machine, clever machine, what else? I mean like they have too much, admittedly. Let me scroll real quick. Where is it? Where are you? We have or did I scroll too far away? Oh yeah, I scrolled too far away. So we have armored machine. Machine is different than armored machine, by the way. Clever machine and mounted warrior. So 61% of the 56 votes chose armored machine. 7% chose machine. 21% chose clever machine. And then 11% chose mounted warrior. And as a side trivia, I made that poll partly because we have like an amazing specimen called the Iron Knight Yggdrasil. The revival version has 3 of the 4 families that I just mentioned. So I just as a trivia, I also put like Yggdrasil on all 3 of them. Yeah, which also explains like why white families the families of white spirits and pale spirits can be a little bit confusing, since a machine can also be an armored machine and a mounted warrior at the same time. Because why not? But yeah, aside from all the speculations, Bridget actually has a new family to accompany the new keyword that is basically at this point is exclusive to her. Yeah, so she, instead of having like a contract skill on level 1, she has a contract field on level 1, which basically when you activate the new Silver Well keyword effect, you gain 2 counters, and then you can open the top 2 cards of your deck, and then can basically replace 2 cards, up to 2 cards of your hand then, with the card that is like a Frostling or a Celtica from your hand, and then it will basically replace the one being open and the one in your hand. So whatever you don't replace or the one that you replace, they go back to the bottom of the deck. So basically the white effects that has been somewhat prevalent from the age of the Mirage Machine piece, so basically allowing White a little bit of more wiggle room in searching, but not really giving them the extra hand that they kind of needed, but if they had it, then that would be a little bit too broken. So she has and then her contract, with her contract skill, which can only be used when you have 4 or more counters, and basically pay 5 to return one opposing spirit or ultimate to the bottom of the deck. And as you know, the shorter the text, as with all trading card games, the shorter the text, usually the better it is. You can, especially since the effect is basically unlimited. So you basically, unlimited as in like, the first effect is of once per turn, so if you have 3 bridges, then you can, plus 6, you can gain 6 counters and replace like, your hand with the 6 cards, in the top of your deck. And of course, if you have Artemis Shield, you can also add that to your hand as well. So that's another plus. But yeah, with this, with the level 2 effect, it's as with most contract skill that is level 1, usually they give you counter as well, which is why they kind of like limit to once per turn. This one, while it costs a lot, you do have the freedom of activating it no matter how many times you need to. So if you somehow has 15 counters on Bridget, you can just remove 5, return 1 to the bottom, remove 5, return 1 to the bottom, remove 5 from the bottom. These cores are gained through core charge, so you don't really need to worry about using your cores, so which is basically a free Dream Bomb if you are playing Saga, but you return them to the bottom of the deck, so that's even more permanent. And another unique thing is now we have Dan, who is like siding with the Olim, we have Kai, who is siding with the Ulrika, and in the Contract Saga we have one more main character, that is Toa. So Toa's biggest thing is she has this Braves called the Engage Braves that basically, when equipped to the correct spirits, they will be able to activate their stronger effects that is like once per game, but it can technically like bring the game to your favor like a lot. It gives you a lot of cores for gives you a lot of cores for like an more aggro leaning deck, or like heals you for like a more beatdown deck to give you more chance to beat your opponent before you run out of gas. And what else? Yeah, and then for like stall decks like White. Well, White is Wiz is not exactly a stall deck, but yeah, you get the point. Wiz is more of beatdown, but yeah, basically get to draw a lot of cards from your deck, so you can gather your combo piece early, and then you can start beating down your opponent. Yeah, and yeah, so Bridget also core charges from such Braves, which I think then the Ulrika, the Celtica will be associated with Toa, and they will have their own Engage Brave, which now, since the holders are like the Grandwalker Nexus, and they don't really do advent anymore for this Grandwalker Nexus decks, because they have their own mechanic called the Manifest. Yeah, either Toa will bring back like the Grand Advent style of effects, which will allow her to use the Engage Brave the way Engage Brave used to be used, or it's also possible that the Engage Brave can be a Saga Brave, but I might be hinting, so we'll see again when we meet Ayumu and we have a voice of reason. So yeah, that's also why I need Ayumu to kind of like make sure that I don't yap too much. And now that we are done with catching up with the news so far, well, there are cards that that will come from the new draft booster, but that can wait for another day. And also now now that Age of Avengers is fully released, it does feel slightly more silent, just like the past month. We have stuff from Age of Avengers, we have stuff from Exit the Limit, we have stuff from the new draft booster, and then we have started to see the art spoilers from BS70. So yeah, that's been a very crowded month. So now it's a little bit now that the Age of Avengers is released, it's slightly more calm. But yeah, now now I've spoiled this to you guys already in a way. But yeah, today I'm going to be rating this German food German street food tier list. So of course I am probably not doing a disservice to my German friends. I basically just took this tier list from someone else, and I can eat basically everything, so this will be pretty hard on its own. There are some stuff that I realize is still missing. I try to, I probably would have to do them verbally in the end, but yeah, this is basically especially since the next Battle Spirit Saga Grand Tour is going to be in Germany. Hopefully, if you are planning to come over, this can be somewhat helpful to how to put it, help you to plan your next trip in Germany. And if you think I am a little bit lagging, that's probably because I just woke up and I finally had the time to record, and I am still very, very hungry. So this is going to be really interesting since I will be reviewing this in with an empty stomach. So this will probably decide my dinner as well. But yeah, without further ado, first of all, I think this, since they don't put like any textual cue on what they are, I will just assume what they are, and I will rate them based on my assumption. So I will rate them. So I took this thing from this tier list from another tier list, from an existing tier list, right? So I just changed it to how I interpret their German instead of the literal meaning. But yeah, so the S tier will be like irreplaceable. So I think that will be like when I introduce people German food that's going to be here, have to try one. So basically, I think that it's really good. I will not mind like having it regularly if I have to. Although they are all really fatty, so I wouldn't. Edible is, yeah, it does the job. It is not that good, but it's not appalling. Yeah, we have like, so they use the word disgusting. I just put and felt. It's shouldn't be there. Probably with my standard, nothing will probably go there. And then there are a tier that is like haven't eaten, but I will probably preface that it's probably I haven't eaten them, or I haven't eaten them in Germany. That's like there are stuff like in this picture like taco and burrito. Yeah, I had them in the US, but I haven't had them in Germany, so I don't think it's fair to kind of like judge them based on what I have in another country. That's like, yeah, that will be very different. And then yeah, first of all, it's just the baguette sandwich. So baguette sandwich. Baguette sandwich. I think it's edible. I mean, like, it's basically like, it's probably a disservice to call them Subway, but yeah. It's usually going to be like just meat and then some lots of vegetables and basically no sauce. So they're kind of fresh. They're not appalling. Usually, I mean, like, it's going to be German bread, so like it's going to be good either way. But like, yeah, it's kind of like the case where yeah, you put stuff on it and it kind of like degrades the whole stuff. Yeah, so it's edible. Although the meme is that if since German people don't really have like a food of like, yeah, so this food is like they don't really rank food. The food are either good or not. So like usually when they are really impressed by a dish, they will say, yeah, this dish is edible. So yeah. Okay, so then we'll have the next is basically just sausage in bread, which is going to be different than hot dogs. Since yeah, German people like to make it clear that like the American hot dogs are not sausage. The way they are made are different, so they really like to be like really fussy about it. Like you can't really go to supermarket and find the toast in the same place as bread. They're called like the toast bread specifically because yeah, it is technically by EU law it is not bread. So it is what it is. But yeah, sure. So well, I guess it's kind of edible, but it's better than the baguette sandwich. Because the thing with the sausage in bread is the type of bread that they usually use for this sausage rolls are usually really thick, so it can be quite awkward. But they are really, really, really good on their own. So like the bread, if you eat the bread on its own, it's really good. You eat the sausage on its own, it's really good. But now you have like the sausage dangling all over, and then yeah, I'm just you just basically use the bread to kind of like hold the sausage, and then you eat the sausage, and then now you only have the sausage inside the bread, and then now should you crush the bread and then like so that it fits in your mouth, or do you just try to fit everything inside? But yeah, that's basically it. And then we have burger. So now they put like a pretty elaborate burger here, but like if I were to judge this not based on like the American style of burgers, but like the German style of burger that you can find in the most of the street foods that you can access, then I actually think that they are like they are like a really guilty pleasure because like I don't enjoy them. They basically like their meat is basically like they just lump the meat together and then they put it in an oven, so it's kind of like a meat loaf more than like a burger. But they are really big, so there are really rare moments when I just have that gaping mouth inside myself that I kind of just wanted to throw something inside, and it kind of fits because it's like really big. But yeah, if you are talking about like specifically the German burgers, then yeah, it's kind of like for the most part I wouldn't eat it, but like except for those nights where I feel like I really can't go on. I'll just have this. But yeah, it's really rarely that I'll enjoy like the German style of burgers. Although there are some like local burger chains, like it's called Burger Me. I'm not sure if it's from Germany or it's just a Europe thing in general. They're really good. They're slightly more expensive than, so let's say, McDonald's. They're a chain restaurant, but they're really good. Their fries is also nice. And then we have currywurst. I just had currywurst yesterday, so I would say, yeah, this is something that you have to try at least once. I mean, like it's just cut up sausage in German curry sauce, by the way. Yeah, so it's a German curry ketchup. Even we have this thing in Germany called the curry ketchup. So it's a ketchup that is slightly more runny, so it feels more like sauce. So they also sell bigger bottles so that you can basically use it all week, because it's a sauce, so you kind of have to use a little bit a lot, and then you eat them with fries, and then the curry sauce with fries is really nice. You can even add more sauce to the fries if you want. But usually they cost like 50 cents to add either ketchup or mayo to your fries. So as a broke student and now unemployed, I will then do that. But then again, usually you have like enough curry sauce to survive nuclear winter. So it's not like you wouldn't have enough sauce to cover both the sausage and the fries. And as I was talking about that, my stomach was rumbling. But yeah, the currywurst is definitely something I must try. It is really simple, but it's also one of those dishes that subtly you can feel based on like what the sausage that the locals preferred. You can kind of like, oh, so yeah, this is what the people of Berlin preferred. This is what the people of like Bochum. So like the other, I mean, like I live in the state of North Rhine-Westphalia, and then basically the more northern you go, the more southern you go. Like they have different preference as well. So yeah, that's definitely something. And German fries, they're like I would say on the B tier. So it's definitely something that is going to satisfy you as well. And then we have, of course, the doner kebab. I will say, in terms of like the German street food, it's the A tier. It's the S tier. It's the best. It is really messy. Yes, it is really awkward to eat because like they cut the bread into like a triangular shape most of the time. So the Turkish bread that they use for the doner sandwich is usually circular, and basically the regular size for doner is a quarter of that bread. So it's really big, it's really filling. You can have all the salad that you want, so you can kind of trick yourself that you are eating healthy. You are going to toss that in sauce, and then the meat is also really salty. They have like all sorts of herbs. So like in terms of if you just limit it to like German food, like this is probably the closest thing that you can get to kind of like get the high of like the Asian street food. It's one of the only thing that has enough MSG and enough herbs to kind of like, oh yeah, this is food. To kind of like recognize it as food. And I will argue that the doner is better than shawarma. I don't know. I mean, like, the only shawarma that I have is like the Syrian style. That is like more common in the city that I live in. There are Arabic shawarma as well, I think. They call themselves Arabic shawarma, but like, then they would call themselves Syrian restaurant. So yeah, I mean, like with the Middle East, it's a little bit more blurry. Oh, sorry if I make a mistake in this, like making the wrong distinction there. But yeah, the point is like with the shawarma, I think they are going for a much more lighter flavor, which doesn't make them bad. But as someone from East Java that has lots of dishes with strong flavors, tuner just does it better for me. And you can also, I mean, like if we are talking about like the street food version, it's the limbet is basically just you can have them in a sandwich, in a flatbread. So basically it will be something like a burrito, kind of, or you can have them just with fries or rice on a plate. It's usually going to bump the price a lot, but you can have more portion as well, and you will feel like you're eating in a restaurant. And in the end, if you order them like in for a takeout, then they will give you the bread as well. So yeah, that kind of works. So you can eat that basically however you want. But if you are broke and you want to feel bougie, then you can just buy the doner sandwich and then just bring it home. Shamefully put everything in your plate and then eat them as if you just ordered the most expensive one, but you accidentally mix everything inside the pack. Yeah. And we have donuts. Well, if we are just talking about the donuts in Germany, I'm not really sure. Is it felt? Is it felt? Well, I will. Okay, I probably should. Will then have often. It's probably more. Will then have it unless unless I'm really sad. It's probably more accurate to kind of like explain this tier. Because like, of course we have stuff like you have like battery donuts. I don't know why. The only chain that is available in Germany is also Dunkin' Donut, which, well, I think like most other people you ask will probably say that Dunkin' Donut is not a good representation of donuts. But like, since I grew up in Indonesia, which also for the longest time in my life, I think like the first time we have something that is not Dunkin' Donut is like after 15 years or so. Like Dunkin' Donuts is like the baseline. It's the 7 out of so like the 7 out of 10 for us. Oh yeah, it's unfortunately it's the only one that's available in Germany. They are really expensive as well. If you want to get Dunkin' Donut, it's like 2 or 3 euros per donut, so it doesn't make sense. If you get like the discounted donuts in the supermarket, it's like 45 cents. That's like how does this happen? Like like it has more flour, yes, but it doesn't have enough flour to warrant like a 5 times increase. Like usually when you have like branded stuff and then you have the discounter stuff, usually the discounter stuff will be like half the price at most. Like yeah, this is a little bit worrying. And also with the bakery, with the German bakery ones, yeah, you pay it twice, but you actually get like the quality, because like one of my favorite German pastry is this thing called like the pudding pretzel. I tried the one in the discounter, the custard like feels really off, so like yeah, I think like for that one I can warrant like buying it in the bakery. But yeah, for the most part, it doesn't really fill the hole because it is not really fluffy, but it's not really bready the way Dunkin' Donut is. Like the only problem here of me describing this is I'm more familiar with the more bready donut that is like basically our attempt at making donuts in Indonesia. Also, Dunkin' Donuts. So it's a little bit more bready. But yeah, that's the one that I'm more familiar with, and it's not even close to that. But it's also not like really fluffy like the good donuts that you would have in all other places. Yeah, I would say that it's something that I wouldn't have unless I'm really sad, aka felt. And then we have I think it is the fish bruchen. Huh? So it's basically quite simply it's quite simply a fish inside the bread. So it's like I mean like German bread is really good. So like we just put something inside and it won't be any worse. I haven't really eaten this. Kind of like because I don't really like fish up until pretty recently. I think like I started to be able to eat fish as long as they taste neutral. Like if you are talking like fried fish that no longer has the taste of fish on on them, then yeah, I would gladly have them. But yeah, if it's still shaped like a fish and it's probably going to be pretty fishy, then I don't dare to try them. So that's mostly why I haven't tried them. And then we have the ham. It's the Leberkäse. Oh, it's a Leberkäse. So Leberkäse. Leberkäse is something like kind of like a meatloaf, I suppose. Meatloaf in a bread. I think I will say it's edible, but slightly better than sausage bread, just by the virtue that the form factor actually like allows you to eat it in a more in a way less awkward manner. Yeah, that's the word. That's the word. My English is starting to leave me as I'm talking about German food, and on an empty stomach as well. But yeah, the next up, I think this is from the texture. It looks like just a normal bockwurst. The fun part is like the easiest two sausages to identify is bratwurst and bockwurst. So bratwurst is basically it's basically meant to be grilled, while bockwurst is supposed to be boiled. So bockwurst is if you're more, especially if you're from Asia and you're probably more familiar with the American sausages, then bockwurst is probably, it has more snap on it. Bratwurst is usually more flavorful. Bockwurst is a little bit more just salt. But both has its moments. So the one that they used for the sandwich earlier, it's probably going to be bratwurst. This is just bockwurst eaten with mustard, I think. Yeah, I think like anything at this point is going to be better than the baguette sandwich. My God. Oh well. Next up we have the half roasted chicken. Like the roast chicken in Germany, usually they sell it on a half chicken basis. So you will know them as halbe Hähnchen, which is half chicken. Yeah, I mean like they're really good, but I will say they're like on the top of edible. They're really, I wouldn't say they are better than rotisserie chicken I had literally everywhere else, although that what mean just Indonesia. And we have like I think we have an okay record with grilling chicken. It is a little bit, yeah, I mean like it's also a matter of expectation being too high probably, because you look at the grilled chicken and they look like really flavorful and everything, and then you eat the skin and then like, yep, nothing is penetrating that skin. So like, yeah, but it's still good. It's a grilled chicken. You can just, I think like the other strat that I learned along the way is to put like a mix of salt and pepper on the side, and then you basically, when you eat the meat, if it's not flavorful enough, then you just dip it in that and it does the job. And I really like that style of eating the grilled chicken, so that will be probably that will probably be it. Yeah. Yep. That's basically it. And then we have hot dogs. So now this is a little bit awkward. So I can either judge it on better, like, because if we are talking about specifically American hot dogs, I don't think I had them in Germany before, because like then it will be on an awkward position like pork in Indonesia, because it's kind of like it's an ingredient that not everybody would want regularly. So that when it is actually sold in restaurants, and the only one that I know have hot dogs is probably Five Guys, which is an American restaurant. Then they will be not affordable because it's Five Guys. It's a burger restaurant, so it's really expensive. Or I can go the other way, and then like, because there is this one particular kiosk, I would say, like the station kiosk in Dortmund area. So it's a more bit. I was, from my perspective, it feels a little bit northern. I'm not really sure. I haven't. Whenever I see the map, they look like on the top, so I always identify them as north. I never really have to worry about the positioning of cities, because I live in Java, and then if I go to Semarang, it's on my west. I go to Jakarta, it's on my west. If I go to Bali, it's on my east. So there has never been a problem for me identifying where is where. Because the places I need to go to are usually in my extreme west or in my extreme east. But yeah, in Germany it's slightly more fake, because like there are lots of train lines, and then like, oh yeah, I think this is in the north, and then like turns out I just went to a train line that basically went to the north and slightly go east, and then like, yep, overall this city is actually in the east of my city. So yeah, there's that. In Dortmund there's this particular kiosk that sells Reinwurst. So it's usually when we are talking about like sausage in Germany, they are made with pork, but like this particular shop, they sell like the beef sausage, which is not a German thing, but yeah, and in my region, it's in my city, it's a little bit less common for some reason, but yeah, they have like the Reinwurst, and it's really nice. So if I were to rate it to that, I will say it's top of edible. Yeah, that's like I am broke, so I don't really want to spend on much. But like whenever I go to Dortmund, because I had to, and my university is actually before the Dortmund main station, so I rarely had to go to the main station. But if I did go to the main station and I haven't eaten, I will get one just to wait for the train. And then we have muffins. Muffins in Germany. Ooh. I would say it's one of those things that I wouldn't have unless I'm really sad. But it will still be I will still prefer donuts if I am sad. Muffin is a little bit awkward because it's really big. The cheaper ones especially can be really dry. And yeah, my problem is in Indonesia, chocolate feels really special. In Germany, it's like the staple, so it's like yeah. I feel like whenever I eat dessert, it's like not another chocolate. It's like it feels like I'm being ungrateful saying that, but like yeah, when your main option is like chocolate, you kind of want to have something else, anything. Like even the sugar glazed donut won't do. Like give me anything else, literally anything else. And then pancakes. I will probably have them mostly only in like the ice cream cafes. I just learned the other day that actually like Germany has like lots of ice cream cafes because like lots of Italian used to come here. There, we have like lots of ice cream cafes, so we don't really have any other representation from the ice cream cafes here. I will say the pancake is probably going to be yeah, I guess it does have more flavor. Does offer something different than the donut. It is slightly more substantial, but yeah, I guess it's bottom of edible. And then we have German pizza, which is also vaguely is Italian style. Don't know why, but they really prefer that style over like the American. Yeah, man, like American is way too far away. And then I think like generally people also prefer Italian pizza, but like it's also doesn't justify why Domino is kind of like bullet into like changing their style into Italian pizza as well. I think like it kind of damages the diversity of what that we already like the diversity of what already does is already something that's non-existent in Germany, and then like Dominic comes with their American pizza and hey, this is something different. No, no, no. Okay, father. Okay, so yeah, basically that's that's that. So no, I think like you know the worst part is then you still have Pizza Hut that also sells American pizza, but they are now like check up to the oblivion. I think like a piece of like a slice of uh Pizza Hut can set you back like €2 or something like it. It's stupidly priced. I mean, like I kind of want them once in a while. I crave them once in a while because this like again like just like Dunkin' Donuts, Pizza Hut is the one restaurant that for the longest time is the only way Indonesian experience American food. So like it is way more familiar. Although I really like the Italian pizza, don't get me wrong. But I would say with the style that is available in Germany, it's probably going to be yeah, probably the beef sausage is still better, but like in general, Okay, so if we are talking about like, okay, so we can, okay. I just had an epiphany. If you just go to the pizza place in Germany and then you just order like the standard like pizza margherita, pizza with just some hams, or pizza with don't know, basically like with the basic toppings, then yeah, it's a disservice. It's not really a disservice, but it's kind of like it gets the job done. It's really salty, by the way. Sometimes I just can't I just don't want to eat pizza here just by the virtue of it being way too salty. I think like as I am getting older, I'm getting a little bit too sensitive with salt, especially since now when I cook, I try to reduce the number of salt, and I kind of like I use MSG kind of like the way MSG is intended to. So basically, use less salt and then use MSG, a little bit amount of MSG to kind of like amplifies the little salt that you put in there. So that is how MSG is supposed to be used. If you use it that way, you can kind of like reduce the overall amount of salt that you put inside your dish. But yeah, you have to use less MSG plus salt than the only salt that you would normally use. Otherwise, it wouldn't work because you are still consuming the same amount of salt, and that you are not reaching the goal that you're trying to reach there. But yeah, if you are going to more like some stuff like the doner pizza, I guess it's my love for doner showing through. But yeah, uh, but it is actually good. Also, they use other sauces for that. They use bechamel instead of marinara, so I think that's that is a unique enough experience to kind of like experience that. So yeah, with the variety of what you can get in Germany, I think it kind of like you can justifies for you to kind of like scroll to the 50 something menu that the pizza parlor will have, and then yep, I never heard of this. Just try it out. It's going to work out. I mean, it's pizza. What's the worst that can happen? Unless yeah, they kind of like, yeah, unless it's anchovy, then yeah, I wouldn't touch that well. Then if you have anchovy in this list, I will probably put that in the failed category. And we have the normal fries. Is it edible? Is it happy to try once? I think like it kind of depends, because like if you come from Asia, and Germany is your gateway to Europe, then I will say it's something that you have to try at least once. If you are Europeans, then I guess it's edible. It does the job done. I think like, yeah, now that I see this list again, kind of put that price on top of like edible. Like it's when I just wanted something to pass the time or something to eat, then I will just have fries. Also, we have this chain called Frittenwerk. It's extremely expensive, but it's also extremely good. Their garlic fries is superb, but it's like €5 for one portion, so it's kind of like extortionate. But then again, the fries game in Europe in general is just really nice compared to Asia. Asia is a little bit sad. Now it's improving, but it's mostly just American chains bringing their fries, and then we have like better chains like bringing better fries. McDonald's is still has its place. KFC Indonesia is a crime against fast food pricing, because they basically you need to pay, like, the thing is in Indonesia, fries are supposed to be like, if you are paying the same amount of money to get a chicken to get fries, usually you get the biggest size that they have. But like KFC, for some reason, for the same amount of money, you get the smallest size. So yeah. And you are in Indonesia, so you kind of want to eat fries anyway, so why would you do that? Sometimes you crave for fries, you go to KFC and then you have to slap yourself, because yep, let's go to McDonald's later to satisfy this craving, because this is not making any sense. But yeah, in Germany, even in, yeah, I mean, like, there have been a lot of like smaller cheapies that is a little bit unattentive about their fries, but like for the most part, fries in Germany is really nice. the not nice part is like they do charge you for the sauces. So if they ask you whether you want sauce and you don't want to spend any extra, I mean, like if you are already planning to have them with sauce and you want to spend the extra, then to go for it. But like if you are not planning to, remember the word is like no sauce. Just say no sauce or ohne sauce. Basically just I mean, like if you just want the fries, it's fine. It's already fine. I mean, like I will say it's the baseline. It's a 7 out of 10. Then you can, I think, like to improve from there. My dad really like the Dutch fries. I had my food wars moment in Belgium. The Belgian one. I had it in a random chippy and it's like, the really nice. It's like the fries in the random chippy in Belgium is basically like the best fries I had in Germany. So it's like, what? How is this? And like, it's still better, by the way. The Belgian one. So it's like, how is this possible? This is a tourist trap. This show that this has no right to be this good. So like, yeah. I will say, like, on us, if you're from Europe or from the US, it's something that's edible. If you want to have a reliable side dish, it's a really solid accompaniment. If you're from Asia or from a culture that doesn't really eat fries, I would say the German or the European fries in general is a must try. Yep. So then we have salad. If you're talking about the restaurant salad, then yeah. If we are talking about like salad in general, I will really love them. But like if I buy them from a restaurant, if they are not included in what I already paid, that will mean I am really sad because like, yeah, I mean like let's face it, like it's just cut up vegetable. There's barely any techniques that goes in there. I mean, like especially if we are talking about the ones in the small cheapest, like you think like the cheapest will have like people who dedicated their life into like making like the perfect combination of salad. I don't think so. It's just lettuce and basically probably the stuff that they will use in the meat dishes, and then they will just throw them together. Put like Thousand Island on it and call it a day. So yeah, well, the most salad that I will eat is like the free one, or the one that I made myself, or just salad packs with dressings. That one is still fine, but like if you once they like before they branded it as salad, like when they branded it as salad, then the price just went like twice or thrice, so that doesn't really make sense. I think it's a crime to do that. Yeah, I mean like it's legal. Man, then it's a dash, so I guess it kind of justifies it, but like I think like sometimes it's too expensive. I mean like sometimes they charge like full like the main menu price for like salad, so it's like, and then so what's in this? It's just lettuce, some probably some herbs, and then like, yep, and then you get like olive oil. Oh yeah, and how much is this? So let's say it's a chippy, so their main dish will be like €6, and then this base salad will be like 4.5. So it's like, oh, I mean like you get a lot, but it's basically just solid water. So like, yeah, I wouldn't get them from a restaurant unless they're free. If they're free, then I will finish them. Yeah, what else? I mean like. I mean, like, especially since I come from Indonesia, the Indonesian salads are like very stellar. Although it's the far cry from the health dish that we have, that is supposed to be. But like, yeah, the Indonesian salad, they're really nice. German salad, not as much. And then there is the club sandwich. Okay, I think I was able to fix it somehow. Okay. So club sandwich, I will probably rate this based on the ones that they sell in the supermarkets. I don't really have club sandwiches in restaurants. Mainly because I especially when someone else pays for me. Usually I can only have one, so like, do I have club sandwich or do I have this big piece of steak? So yeah, the club sandwich, I would say it's still better than the baguette sandwich, since I guess at that point I would have them when I am in an awkward times where I kinda need to feel full, but I'm going to eat again quite soon. Or I have to hold out for the entire night, because like the form factor made them like you eat way more. Sometimes like it's kind of like those theory where you use like smaller plates to kind of like make yourself feel like you eat like a bigger portion, right? I think like especially if you are want to control your portions the way I do, yeah, I think it is kind of like important to kind of like have your meal looks bigger than it actually is. So I will say those sandwiches then would be on an edible tier, better than the baguette portion, baguette bread, because like then it would be baguette portion, so it's because it's usually would look like you get more, although it's kind of like arguable which one you get more. The one that I eat the most here is like the ham and egg. Sometimes if I have really have to, I'll have the tomato and cheese one. I really still can't wrap around my dish. I mean, like, I'm from East Java again. My relative from Central Java, they thought like we eat like way too much meat, and I think that and now looking at my general preference of food, I can kind of see that. I think like for us, like, to be a complete meal, you can have to have meat with it. Okay, and then we have spaghetti or well, probably not spaghetti, just pasta in general. Yeah, I suppose it's going to be on top of edible. I don't think Germany really have like anything special, like German style thing to offer. Usually it's kind of like those food that is like expensive because you get a lot. But then again, it's pasta. I think like people would argue probably you shouldn't be charged that much. I don't know. Personally, I would have them once in a while. But then when I pay that amount of money, I will probably prefer pizza, because if I don't know why, it's just a meat thing. But like for me, if I have leftover pizza, it's way less awkward to kind of like keep them in the fridge and then like reheat them the next day. Probably because with pizza I kind of have to dip my silverware onto it already, so it's like, yeah, kind of like it's really look half eaten, so it's way less appetizing in the next day. But they get the job done. Usually you get some bread with it as well, which is nice. So that's the bonus part, I think. Usually they are really saucy as well, so you don't really need to worry about the pasta not having enough sauce. My favorite is probably the 3D pasta. So it's basically like, because I'm really indecisive person, right? I really don't know like what is the difference between all this pasta, because I think like with the pasta they kind of like assume, yep, you already know like what this style of pasta would entail, so like, yep, we'll just put the name and then like, yep, you know what you're getting. So like, but no, I'm not from here. I don't know which one is which, so I will just choose the 3D pasta. And then like, also because like, I mean, like, I think like the thing with pasta and pizza is like they will say they have ham, and then like the ham will be so minuscule, so like don't really feel like you are getting much anyway. And then you get the 3D pasta, which is like basically like three style of the pasta, and then put together. It's basically a pasta sampler. So yeah, I think like it's a nice way to kind of like, yep, I never ate the pasta in this restaurant, let's just get the 3D pasta, and then they will basically like give you like a sampler of what they think is the best, or probably the one that they sell the worst. That's why they have too much of them. But yeah, that's that's my take on the pasta in Germany. Then again, yeah, I think I would still prefer fries overall. But like, if I really am really hungry, I just want to eat a lot, I would go for pasta. And taco, I haven't eaten in Germany. I would assume this is burrito with all the amount of sauce in there. It's probably even a breakfast burrito, which also I haven't had in Germany. Wraps like a durum doner will probably go in the same vein as the doner in the irreplaceable tier. And then finally we have the onion rings. Ooh, have I had onion rings in Germany? The problem is I probably had onion rings in Germany, but they are probably frozen ones, so I'm not sure if I can judge them based on that. But then again, I judge some foods based on the ones that I do have from the supermarkets, because the supermarkets ones are like the supermarkets in Germany kind of like broke my standard of supermarket foods, because like the one in Indonesia, when the supermarket sells their own brands, usually it's like it's like basically especially if you're buying tools, they're going to break in 3 seconds. So like, but like the one in Germany, they're going to get the job done. Like if you buy a paintbrush, in Germany, they would at least break after you paint like a whole wall with it. So it does get the job done enough for it to warrant the discount. And yeah, so basically the food as well, usually they kind of do the job. Like, yeah, maybe they have more salt or they have like less portion, but that's basically the same. It's basically good enough. It's basically you're paying less, so you get proportionately less quality. So that's fine. Especially when you are broke, they are not too detrimental to your perception of the quality, I guess. Yeah. So onion rings, I think I will. But yeah, then again, I don't think it will be fair to judge onion rings. But in general, onion rings is it's the really easy dish to miss. I don't think I had like, just in general, I don't think I had like a onion ring that I actually really enjoyed, except for the breading probably. But yeah, I guess just from this list alone, the one that I will probably still miss is either like the German, like the spaghetti ice cream. I don't know if they fit into like the street food side of things, but yeah, spaghetti ice cream is definitely something you have to try for once. It does I mean, like, it's just Italian it's just ice cream in the end, but like the way they did it's kind of like the visual presentation is of course going to be different. Texture it also changes the texture a little bit, so why not? I think it's different enough to warrant trying it out. What else? The Asian foods. Ooh. I think like the Asian food is one where uniquely I wouldn't go for the ones that I go in back home, because like Indonesia has their own, like, I mean, like, I had this conversation with Ayumu in the last episode, right? Like, when we are talking about the Chinese food overseas, it just kind of becomes authentic because it is the food that is developed by the Chinese people that is like that actually like absorbs the elements from their new environment, right? But like it's kind of like added. I mean, like it kind of like also internationally it kind of like ends up being somewhat similar, but also usually with different cultures they have like different preference and everything. Like we have more saucy dishes. Here in Germany, what they do is basically they spread the meat with like 2 metric tons of flour, fry it. It becomes really fluffy, like it's bready in a bad way, and then they just toss it with like a really salty sauce, which I yeah, I don't really like it just because I don't like it, not because it's they call them Chinese food. I wouldn't say they are not. They are like the Chinese German food. I don't really like them in general. But the one that I somehow like is they have like the salmon, the wild. I think it's a wild salmon fillet. That one is actually pretty nice. I think that it's frozen, but like it is one of the frozen dish that actually like kind of benefit from getting the sauce and eaten with rice. So yeah, that will be on top of wouldn't have unless I'm really sad. But like yeah, I mean like I also am a pretty good friend with my local Chinese food place. So I will try to go there whenever I have the cash because they only they do transaction only in cash. Yeah. Okay. So speaking of German street food, what else have I had? Yeah, I think. Oh, yeah, probably Turkish pastry is also something you have to try once. Although I haven't went to Turkey, so I will probably need to compare them when I have the chance. But like in general, even the one in Germany, it is something that it is really sugary. Like even coming from Indonesia, I still think they have like lots of sugar, lots of honey. But like the one that hits like baklava, like yeah, that one, like the pistachio one, that's like that is one of my guilty pleasure. I think I will say it's a somewhere between between fries and pasta in edible. Yeah, I wouldn't have them often, but I will have them like when they are offered to me. Yeah. Don't think they're sponge either. I think like you can then argue like there are like falafel. Falafel is getting more common. Kufta is also getting more common. There's one German chain that is dedicated just to kufta, so they don't have able to have falafel because they are vegetarian. And then there's that one I would say it's on top of edible. I don't think they offer anything more unique than anything that is unique compared to what culture they brought it from. But they are really nice. And then what else? Oh, we don't. Yeah, the fried chicken game is really weak here, so I would say fried chicken is part of the German street food culture. Mm, wings, wings is edible. Wings is edible. I don't think they are particularly unique, but I will have them. They're really expensive as well if you buy them from restaurants. So yeah, just buy them. If you buy them in frozen, it's probably one of the cheapest frozen dish you can get. For €4, you can have like a 1 kilogram of wings. Although arguably you do also pay for the bones. But yeah, I mean, like, you can also make broth with it afterwards, I guess. Yeah, regularly, especially since depending on what I have close to me in the Dusseldorf area, I think that's probably it. I mean, like, I can argue that because I live in Dusseldorf, I can add all the Japanese one as well. But they are also not as with the Turkish stuff. It's not like they just bring like the Japanese food straight up to Germany, so it's not like they offer something that is unique to this place. Although there's this one chain that is like the largest ramen corporation in Dusseldorf, that is Takumi. They have like they work with Nissan to bring their own flavor of instant ramen, and they have like I think by now they have like 7 or 10 restaurants across Europe. Probably more than that. I probably underestimate them. But like every single restaurant has their own specific menu, and then one of them has like this curry udon, curry tempura udon, and it's kind of like horrible. It's yeah, it doesn't really live up to their name. And I tried the one in Den Haag in the Netherlands, and because Den Haag is close to the port, so they have like more seafood in them, and then it's like that one is really nice. But yeah, that is my German street food. So yeah, this is basically my German street food. So the bottom line is, if you go to Germany, try doner kebab. You will then miss it. Doner kebab is kind of like something that Germany and Turkey is fighting for, because like according to the Turkish, it is a dish that comes from this region or city of Bursa. But the German Meat Association claim that it is this style of serving like meat is actually like, it is made by the Turkish that is like that is already immigrated to Germany, so it is by definition a German dish. But then again, it is the German Meat Association, so they have an agenda to have doner treated as a German dish. But it is something that they typically have. So I would really say that regardless of the actual origin, it is a legit German street food. But yeah, and then currywurst is something you have to try once. Some of the more unique pizza, I think you have to try at least once. And then, yeah, I guess all the sausages is something that you have to try, but regularly speaking, since I had them every day, almost every day, they have become something of less of a priority for me. But for you guys, I suppose you have to try at least once. The beer, if you drink alcohol, I say you also have to try the German beers as well, especially in beer gardens. The vibe is just different. Although if you don't drink, there's lots of options as well. If you don't drink, the drink that you have to try is Apfelschorle. It's basically the sparkling mineral water mixed with apple juice. And you will think that is really simple, how that can be any better than apple juice or just sparkling water. It is really nice, so you don't knock it until you try it. And yeah, I guess that concludes my German food tier list. I hope that was an enjoyable moment for you guys. We will hopefully be back with the regular broadcasting of the Refresh Step next week when we drag Ayumu back from wherever village she is from. But yeah, I guess that has been oh God. I was so eager to end this. I was so eager to get the dinner that I forgot. I should have reminded you that if you have any questions, requests, or comments, you can always send them to our email at therefreshsteppodcast@gmail.com, or leave comments in the or if you are listening to this on YouTube, you can always leave comments in the video below. So yeah, now that my brain is already way too broken to continue coherent speech, I guess that has been everything that I can share for this week. We hope that you guys have a nice week going forward, and we'll see you all in the next thing. Bye bye. Yeah, that's basically me just trying to replace fill the void that Ayumu left. But yeah, bye bye.